every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Omotayo Alo. In our major stories tonight, the federal government is working on a comprehensive national security communications framework to complement the military onslaught against Boko Haram insurgents. Also in this program, the Court of Appeal has unanimously upheld the election of Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio as the duly elected representative of Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District. The House of Representatives pushed 130 bills through first reading. On the foreign scene, heavily armed attackers have launched coordinated assaults in several army barracks in Burundi. Thank you for joining us tonight. Now the news in full. The federal government is working on a comprehensive national security communications framework to complement the military onslaught against Boko Haram insurgents. Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, told senior officials of the ministry that the government is keen on ensuring that Nigerians have better security awareness. He also wants the media and security agencies to create a synergy for the success of the communication strategy. Kazim Kasali has the rest of the story.
It's a meeting called to work out details of a new security communication network. Not surprising, military officers and officials of the Information Ministry are in attendance. Speaking to the gathering, the minister was emphatic that a comprehensive document to guide information dissemination at this time was necessary. He challenged stakeholders in both the media and security services to come up with suggestions to aid the production of a national security communications document which will aid Nigerians in attaining a higher level of security awareness.
The military may be doing its best, but it cannot win the war alone. No insurgency has ever been won only by military prowess. Apart from that, it is important to sensitize Nigerians on IEDs, that is improvised explosive devices, how to recognize one and what to do if you find such. Nigerians must also be made aware of the new tactics of the insurgents.
For Michael Mary, Director General of the National Orientation Agency, the forum will come up with an efficient and comprehensive document.
Well, this will be a consolidation of strategies to reawaken what has been done and to reinforce what needs to be done. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and it further shows to Nigerians the seriousness of government in its effort to fighting insurgency and criminal tendencies across our land, irrespective of where it is manifesting, whether it is Borno or Boko Haram in the northeast or IPOD in the southeast, and any other such elements that could disrupt or create instability.
The military authorities, for their part, are seeking a robust synergy with the people to back what the troops are doing at the front lines.
You see, the situation has always been very positive. We are working hard, and there has been series of coordination from between the land and the air forces, and so far so good. We need the cooperation of all, to ensure that this fight is done positively in our favor, and I believe it will soon be the thing of the past. As you are aware, insurgency is something which is unconventional anyway, and the military alone cannot be seen, to have been fighting alone. The support of the whole citizens is required in this direction, and I believe the citizens have been very cooperative and have been very understanding with this, and they are equally been appreciative of what we are doing.
Before the meeting adjourned, a committee was constituted to come up with a framework that will help in creating a high level of security awareness, as well as aid the security services in achieving the task of ending insurgency in the country. Kazim Kasali, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The U.S. Embassy has distanced itself from an online message warning American citizens of an impending attack on them in Abuja. The U.S. Counselor for Public Affairs in Nigeria, Victoria Sloan, refuted this on behalf of the embassy in Kaduna. She urged Americans living in the country not to panic because the message did not emanate from the U.S. Embassy. The Court of Appeal has unanimously upheld the election of Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio as the duly elected representative of Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District. In a judgment delivered by Justice Moshood Oredola, the three-man panel dismissed the appeal filed by Inibehi Okori for lack of merit. Justice Oredola said Senator Akpabio met the constitutional requirement of being sponsored by the People's Democratic Party for the election. Judiciary correspondent Basilo Kafo reports.
This is the second time the court is affirming that Senate Minority Leader was duly elected to represent his senatorial district. The challenger, Inibege Okon, approached the Court of Appeal, having not been satisfied with the decision of the election tribunal, which had earlier affirmed Akpabio's victory. Online media was awash with the story that Senator Akpabio had lost his seat at the National Assembly. But the appeal court, in its judgment, delivered by Justice Moshood Oredola, affirmed Akpabio's victory in the election.
I'm grateful and I'm happy, not only for my clients, but also for this country and for the judiciary. You see, because like I told the court, late last night and early this morning, there was news all over the place that a particular site on the social media, I don't want to mention, you all know, already said that this judgment has been delivered against us, that Senator Godswill Akpabio has been told to vacate office. And we were wondering, where did this come from? When we argued this appeal, the court said the judgment was to take place. They even, in his own case, they even reserved the judgment. But when we argued the other appeal, they were both appealed. They gave us a date for yesterday. But yesterday we were now told that both judgments were coming up today. Only for us to start hearing from last night that judgment had been delivered against us. And then we were wondering what's this country going on to. But we came up this morning with faith, believing that there's strength in our case. We had a good day at the tribunal. We had a good day at the
We apologize for that disruption in the report. Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal has removed 2 senators elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Parties in Rivers State and ordered fresh elections. They are Senator Osinachuku Ideozu, representing Rivers Southwest Senatorial District, and Senator Olaka Nwogu, representing Rivers Southeast. A 3-man panel led by Justice Ibrahim Gumel unanimously ordered that fresh elections be conducted within 60 days in the 2 senatorial districts.
2 separate appeals were filed, one by Senator Magnus Abbey and the other by Otelemaba Amashiro, both of the All Progressive Congress. Delivering judgment in the appeals, the court held that the election, which led to the victory of the now sacked senators, was not properly conducted as required by law. The panel noted that available evidence showed that all the polling units in the two senatorial districts abandoned the use of card readers, thereby giving way to manipulations. When the judgment was delivered, supporters of the appellant went into wild jubilation. This man here, who came to court with scissors, was soon using this instrument to cut his beard in jubilation.
That this beard will not go until justice, sanity is restored. God has saved, cleaned our shame. God has cleaned the shame on our faces. Justice has been restored.
Trusted in the Nigerian judiciary that there is hope for this country, and that blatant injustice perpetrated by people in power, by the grace of God, today has been successfully challenged. I cannot thank the judiciary enough, not just for this victory, but for the fact that they gave us a platform on which we could actually show the world that what we said about the events in Rivers State is true and visible for all to see.
Reacting to the judgment, Counsel to Magnus Abbey said the court verdict was an indication that the judiciary is the last hope of common man.
You can see that judgment has been done by the Court of Appeal in these petitions against the elections conducted in Rivers State. As everybody knows, and we have said times without number, that no election was conducted or held in any part of Rivers State on 28th of March 2015. And that was the decision of the court today, that you cannot say that was a proper election under the law. And thus the court has nullified the election and ordered for another election within 60 days.
The runoff election had to be held within 60 days in the two senatorial districts. Basil Okafor, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Former President of the Senate, David Mark, has stepped up his campaign for the rerun election by urging his supporters to see it as a challenge for the emancipation of Idoma people. He said this when he played host to the state leadership of the People's Democratic Party in Otukpo, Benue State. The reception was in the aftermath of the annulment of his election by the appeal court in Makurdi. A statement issued by his media aide, Paul Mume, indicates that PDP leaders expressed reservations about the verdict, but are confident that the rerun will prove that the former Senate President won the Benue South senatorial seat fairly. For his part, Senator Mark appealed for calm and described the forthcoming election as an opportunity to say no to those he described as external forces. He mentioned that a party that produced a senator, 4 members of the House of Representatives, and 10 out of the 11 state House of Assembly members is fully on ground. Earlier, the paramount ruler of Idoma land, Ikoyi Obekba, told Senator Mark not to worry about the tribunal's verdict, that he remains the people's choice. Justice Lateef Lawal Akakpo of Lagos High Court Ikeja ordered that a substituted service be effected on the engineers that supervised the collapsed guest house belonging to the Synagogue Church of All Nations. The judge gave the order while ruling on the suit filed by the Lagos state government against the trustees of the church. Specifically, she directed that substituted service of the court process be effected on the contractors by pasting same on the front door of their addresses at 34 Akindele Street off Clinton Bus Stop, Alagbado, Lagos State, and 42 Toyin Street, Ikeja, Lagos State, respectively. The court also ordered that photographic evidence showing the sheriff of court pasting same should be tendered before the court. The federal government has filed more charges against former National Security Advisor, retired Colonel Sambo Dasuki. Dasuki, who is still in detention, is accused of extra budgetary spending of 643.8 billion naira and an additional $2.2 billion. He used to be arraigned on Monday alongside Salisu Shuaibu, a former director of finance, in his office, Aminu Babakusa, a former group executive director of NNPC, Asia Holding Limited, and Reliance Referral Hospital Limited at an Abuja High Court. Shuaibu is the director that told the investigators it delivered $47 million in suitcases at the home of the former NSA on instruction. Also to be arraigned, former Sokoto State Governor Atahiru Bafarawa, his son Sage, former Minister of National Planning Basha Yuguda, and Dal R2 Investment Limited. They had to face separate charges over alleged diversion of over 10 billion naira meant for arms purchase. The two groups of accused persons are to be arraigned on Monday, December 14. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll bring you more stories. Stay with us.
Whenever you recharge your Airtel line, you could win a trip to Dubai for yourself and your family members or closest pals. Win one of 60 trips for 4 to Dubai in the Airtel Red Hot promo. Now that's a trip to Dubai for 240 people. You could also be one of 60 instant millionaires. Win smartphones and airtime. Everyone's a winner in the Airtel Red Hot promo with Emirates Holidays.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's a new dawn in Nigeria, and the mantra is change. The wind of change is blowing all over Nigeria and beckons to you. One sure way to respond is to perform your civic duty, pay your tax. With taxes, government generates revenue to fulfill its electoral promises, ensure regular power supply, provide good security, standard education, medical care, true total change. Individuals and corporations enjoy specific benefits, rights and privileges for paying taxes and avoid the consequences and penalties of not paying. Oil revenue is no longer sufficient to bring desired change, but your tax can. It pays to pay your tax. A message from the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
The man on the streets have come to realize that the power to make decisions lies in the hands of the people.
I don't think the election.
5 local government out of the 13 local government is more than many states in the north. The economy is booming. Where is the economy booming?
Bomb blast in Abuja.
Don't you have security?
Why are we fighting?
President should not just sit in Abuja or in Asokoro or wherever he lives. Those are supposed to be Boko Haram. They know them.
They cannot be there and be here at the same time.
The life of the citizens, community need to be protected.
It can't work out.
Bring the message of peace. Let there be proper devolution of power from the center. The center is too powerful.
It's tried to do the best, but people are hasty. Why are you hasting? Why are you hasting? Why are you hasting? Well, let's conjugate.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome. If you're just joining us, it's CoreTV Primetime News. Here is a quick reminder of our top stories. The federal government is working on a comprehensive national security communications framework to complement the military onslaught against Boko Haram insurgents. Also in this program, the Court of Appeal has unanimously upheld the election of Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio as the duly elected representative of Akwa Ibom North West Senatorial District. The House of Representatives pushed 130 bills through first reading. For more news and information, visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News, or Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. You could get more on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space and news. The House of Representatives on Thursday pushed 130 bills through first reading. It is the first time in recent history that such amount of bills will scale first reading in one legislative day. The bills include Corporate Manslaughter Bill 2015 by Speaker Yakubu Dogara, People's Bank of Nigeria Act, Food, Drugs and Related Acts Bill, Treaty to establish the African Union Ratification and Enforcement Telecommunications and Postal Offences Act. Some of the authors are the Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Act Amendment 2015 and the National Identity Management Commission Act Amendment Bill of 2015. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai says the Buhari administration inherited the country on the verge of collapse from former President Goodluck Jonathan. El-Rufai, who disclosed this at the opening of a three-day retreat for State House correspondent, decried the inability of the Jonathan administration to pay salary even when the average price of crude oil was $100 per barrel. The police authorities have cautioned Nigerians not to be deceived by the enlisting into the police and to beware of fraudsters operated on Facebook or other social website platforms. The warning, according to the first public relations officer, Olabisi Kolawole, says that no recruitment or enlistment exercise is taking place now at the force headquarters or at any of its institutions, commands or formations. She maintained that the police will duly inform the general public whenever it intends to commence recruitment of personnel through appropriate channels, including public advertisement in the necessary media. Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has denied suggestions that it is working against the interest of electricity consumers in the country. This was in response to questions at a one-day media workshop in Abuja. Officials of the Commission argue that they are not out to protect the interest of investors to the detriment of the average Nigerian. And Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode says 24-hour power supply will boost business and increase the state's gross domestic product. That his government is ready to achieve the target. The governor also urged individuals, private homes and corporate organizations to take up any street of their choice and light them up with connections to their meters and generators, saying the government would give concessions to them in the payment of their annual land use charges. The governor spoke at the Lagos House Ikeja while inaugurating the Power Committee, which is to transform the government stream into reality, saying the power supply challenge must be overcome in order to achieve sustainable economic growth. As part of its effort to ensure the Christmas and New Year's celebration this season, of course, it actually provided a means to ensure that there is accident-free, and Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC Imo State Command said it has put in place the needful for the actualization of this. The sector commander, Godwin Omiko, while speaking to CoreTV News, said the command's mandate this season is to reduce to the barest minimum accidents on the roads within and outside the state. Our correspondent has all the details.
In preparation for the Yuletide season, the FRSC Imo Command has put in place data collectors to enable them track up defaulters. Godwin Omiko, Imo State Sector Commander, gave his stand on the need for transport operators in the state to ensure their vehicles are in best shape.
We have undertaken what we call the road audit. Road audit means getting to know those black spots where we will always have, we have always had these challenges in years past. And we have done that audit, identified what the problems are, and we have also come up with our own strategies of deploying men and materials to those areas.
Imo Transport Company, ITC, speaking through one of its managers, said they meet the standard and will operate this season bearing in mind the safety rules as they have always done.
Generally in the country, with regards to drivers and their performances, I think you will actually, on a scale of 10, 1 over 10, I think I will give ITC 8. And my reason for giving 8 is that we don't have that regular accident rates, you know, to be compared with all the other transport companies that we have in the country. And I think that is owing to the steps that ITC takes to make sure that their vehicles are safe.
While the Yuletide preparation is ongoing, it is however expected that all adhere strictly to the safety rules to avoid unnecessary accidents and loss of lives and property.
Nigeria has moved up the investment chart in Africa with a $573.6 billion investment portfolio. This is over $200 billion more than South Africa, with $350.3 billion. These figures were released at an event held in Abuja to explore investment opportunities in Africa. We take another break now, and when we come back, we bring you stories from outside Nigeria and sport. Stay with us.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it's time to forgive me.
Political Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome. On the foreign scene, heavily armed attackers launched coordinated assault on several army barracks in Burundi. An army spokesman said in a statement that 12 insurgents had been killed and another 20 arrested. The incident is the worst violence since an attempted coup in May, which sparked by President Pierre Nkurunziza's third-term bid. UN officials have recently accused both government and opposition figures of stirring up ethnic tension between Hutus and Tutsis amid fears of a return to genocide. President Vladimir Putin has ordered the Russian military to take extremely tough action against any threat to its forces in Syria. However, Putin did not elaborate on specific threats, but Turkey and Russia are currently locked in a spat over the downing of a Russian jet by Ankara. Turkey says the bomber had entered its airspace, but Russia has insisted the plane did not cross the border and that it gave advance notice of the flight path to the U.S. A Russian pilot was killed in the downing of the Su-24 bomber as a Marine sent on a rescue mission, badly damaging the normally close ties between Ankara and Moscow. A Kurdish Arab coalition fighting the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant ISIL group has announced the creation of a political wing after a two-day conference in Syria's northeastern town of al-Malika. The formation of the Syrian Democratic Council was approved at a meeting which was attended by the Democratic Union Party, PYD, the largest Kurdish group, and its armed wing, the YPG. The group's allies, the Syrian Democratic Forces, were not invited to Saudi Arabia. The SDF, formed in October, groups the powerful Kurdish People's Protection Unit with smaller Arab and Christian armed groups in a coalition intended to confront ISIL. Also, China is to receive a $300 million loan from the Asian Development Bank, ADB, to help it combat dangerous pollution levels in Belgian City and its surrounding area. The ADB said that poor air quality had reached such a serious level that it was jeopardizing and dangerous to health and sustainable growth. The loan is intended to cut the region's coal use, among all the pollution issues. China is the world's largest polluter. Despite large investment in renewable sources, China still depends on coal for more than 60% of its power. And now to sport.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball storming, now he takes Puyol with a flying lead.
Go, taking them out in the lead.
In the world of sport, ex-Super Super Eagles striker Bright Dike has said he is hopeful of featuring again in the Major League Soccer next year after he missed the better part of the 2015 season when he was released by Toronto FC. Dike, who is among the players eligible for re-entry draft by MLS board, is waiting for the opportunity to return to the top league for the coming season. The 28-year-old forward has played for Indiana Invaders, Portland Timbers and San Antonio Scorpions. Yaya Toure has been voted the BBC African Footballer of the Year 2015. The 32-year-old Ivory Coast midfielder becomes only the third player after Nigerians Nwankwo Kanu and JJ Okocha to receive the honor twice. His first won the 2013 ahead of Yassin Brahimi, Pierre Emerick Mayonch and Andre Awayi and Sandio Maye. FIFA's Ethics Committee says it has completed its investigation into the conduct of FIFA President Sepp Blatter and UEFA head Michel Platini and requested sanctions against both of them. The report was submitted to FIFA's ethics judge and Joachim Eckert for final decision. The men face much longer bans if FIFA adopts the recommendation of the committee, which in Platini's case would mean he would also lose his position as UEFA president. Hit by a series of scandals over the past few years, FIFA was thrown into turmoil in May by the U.S. indictment of 14 football officials, including 2 FIFA vice presidents and sport marketing executives for alleged corruption. The organization's awarding of World Cup tournaments to Germany, Russia, and Qatar has been subject to scrutiny and charges of corruption. Blatter also faces a criminal investigation in Switzerland over a $2.1 million payment from FIFA to Platini, but both men have denied any wrongdoing. Real Madrid have failed in the court appeal to get their Copa del Rey explosion temporarily suspended while they await the outcome of the appeal. The 19-time winners were thrown out of the competition for fielding suspended Denis Cheryshev in the first leg of their last 32 tie with Cadiz. He scored in a 3-1 win, but was banned from a loan spell at Villarreal, which Real said they were not told about. Spain's Administrative Court for Sport ruled there was no ground to suspend the decision of the Spanish Football Federation to expel Real, but is yet to decide on the appeal itself. And just before we go tonight, here is a quick reminder of our top stories. We told you earlier that the federal government is working on a comprehensive national security communications framework to complement the military onslaught against Boko Haram insurgents. The Court of Appeal has unanimously upheld the election of Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio as a duly elected representative of Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District. And finally, the House of Representatives pushed 130 bills through first reading. On behalf of the entire news crew, thank you so very much for staying with us. My name is Omotayo Alo. Have a good night rest.